What's going on, guys? Jivan back with another video, and today I think this is going to be one of the most useful videos I've made so far this season. So the Placement Cup was about a week ago, and by now a lot of pro players have uploaded their tourney highlights, and so I watched for like 3 hours just a bunch of pro tournaments and tried to learn as much as I could from their gameplay. In this video, I'm going to be telling you what I learned and showing you the examples that I learned it from. If you've been liking the content recently, please consider using code JivanTV in the Fortnite item shop and stopping by the stream, link in description. Without further ado, let's hop into it. The first cup that I watched was Queasies, and the first thing I noticed is when he's on high ground here. First of all, his teammate is down low just heavy fragging, but he is doing like a zigzag tarp up top. That way he just constantly has a way to look towards back edge zone. He doesn't always do this, but he does it a lot, and it's pretty smart. I would always be doing like floors and then editing the floor to look back, but that makes the floors weak, so it's probably smarter to do a zigzag tarp like this. Yeah. Another thing is he's carrying snipers pretty much every single game. I'm trying to pay attention to people's loadouts just so that I have an idea. And something they be doing with the snipers is using the snipers to take walls really fast. In this case, a floor. So that's just another small benefit of having snipers. So as a solo here, he's trying to find a good lair, and it's a really stacked endgame. It's really congested. I have never done this before, but he runs ahead in the zone and tanks ahead of the zone and then cranks up 2 layers from there and just claims a lair. Pretty smart. I've never really gone like ahead of the zone just so that I can get out of the congestion and find a good lair. Definitely worked out for him here. So something that Ken and I like struggled with big time was keeping track of when we're in the chrome. We kept accidentally going into the chrome ball when we're trying to sprint, and I noticed that the pro did it here, which kind of made me feel better because like we did that a lot. It's just an extra reminder to always make sure like before you move, you know if you're in chrome form or not in chrome form. It's something we're always going to have to be checking in this season's meta. Moving on to Tripper's games, the first thing I noticed is that they were going way crazier with the chrome splash. So first of all, in this clip, he's like throwing chrome splash down left and right. So I was trying to figure out the reasons he was doing it, and I found some really good uses for it by watching this. First of all, he's throwing it at his wood in late endgame. People are always jumping on wood, but if you chrome splash it, your wood becomes a little bit stronger, and it's hard to tell how much health it's actually going to have. People are going to get better at it throughout the season, identifying like exactly how much health a chrome wall has, but like he's throwing it down everywhere to strengthen his builds, which is really smart. Also, he's throwing it at other people's builds, and so in late endgame, by doing this makes it so that the other players on low ground can't actually open up and spray them. So just throwing it at the other players around you makes it so that you're not going to get looked at and you're really chilling. Right here, he's a solo with a ton of mats. He's just making so many boxes and just literally box fighting everybody around him. Noticing how many builds he has just makes it so that he's guaranteeing his survival for one by building a lot, and it gives him a lot of refresh opportunities as well. It's just a reminder that like if you have builds in endgame, don't get caught on back edge, build a lot, live. I need that reminder sometimes. Maybe some of you do too. I don't know. In a later game, I noticed that they tarped all the way to the zone here, chromed the front of the box, and then immediately went back tarp and started looking for kills. It's nothing that crazy, but when Ken and I were VOD reviewing, we were saying we were always going to throw the chrome in the back of the box. But in a situation like this, where you're so far ahead of the zone and have a full tarp, it's good to throw it in the front of the box because then you can use the back of the box to frag. That's just a little thing, nothing crazy though. So later on, they're actually really low on builds. They're speaking another language, but I hear them say placement and chrome, and then they start sitting in their chrome balls. So I assume they said like just kind of hide out with the chrome balls just to clutch up some extra placement. And doing this not only gives them extra placement, but they get a surprise jump play out of the chrome balls and get a refresh. I feel like a lot of times when I'm in the chrome ball, I'm trying to get out of the chrome ball as fast as possible, but just kind of ratting around and using it to stay hidden, sneak around, and wait for a play is really effective. It clearly worked out for them here. I feel like it could work a lot. Moving on to some of Malibu's games, I noticed they actually weren't really using the chrome splash. All these different pros are using completely different loadouts. I feel like there's not one alpha loadout this season. The first play here was something that I thought was pretty notable, and this is Malibu and Mustache for you. So they're tarping, he notices there's somebody on their side. He immediately just full sprints, tarps, full boxes their wall, gets on it, takes it, bodies them. Like no hesitation, so fast, makes the aggressive play. They're always the one initiating these fights. Obviously, they're not doing it back edge, they're ahead of the zone, but I admire their gameplay so much because of that. I feel like they just alpha up everybody, and that's why they're so good. Also, I was trying to figure out why he did like a left-hand edit here. I think it was because if he did a right-hand edit, his teammate would have been exposed, but I'm not fully sure. Like by doing the left-hand edit, the wall was protecting both of them, almost like a left-hand peek, but like at least he wasn't just full editing and 50-50ing, you know? I don't know, I was trying to figure that out, but maybe he just like did it accidentally. I feel like Malibu's too precise to do something accidentally like that. Let me know what you think. So they end up going for height here later on. They have so many materials, so like, obviously. And this fight was kind of a reminder for me. Like sometimes I feel like I really need to spray out height, get them fully griefed, and then just crank 90s until I'm above them. But you can see that it almost looks like they're approaching this like a mid-game fight. Like Malibu starts to crank, but he starts getting sprayed at, so he pauses, and then he continues to crank a little bit later when they're reloading. And it almost felt like a realistic 2v2. I know I sound stupid here, but all I'm trying to say is that when building up to high ground, if you have a lot of mats, like take your time, be patient, and just treat it like a normal 2v2. Don't treat it like a high ground build battle. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? This is like a me thing. I don't know. It helped me out watching this fight, but I could just be speaking gibberish. Later on in the tourney, something that I noticed, like I said, they were full tarping to people's boxes before while they have a lot of mats, but something else I noticed is that they'll just literally full tarp zones and box fight everybody around them and get so many refreshes to the point where they can just continue full tarping. And I feel like that's such an alpha move and it's really safe. The only thing is you can run out of mats faster, but you get so many more refresh opportunities, and clearly it works for them. They do run out of mats in some of these games, but then they just go for a low mat play where they go for a quick wall take on unsuspecting enemies and get a refresh. Sometimes, you know, we'd be thinking like, oh, we got a chrome splash to save mats, we got a sprint rotate to save mats, but sometimes just full tarp and then get a refresh. I feel like it's the safest way to play if you're really good box fighters and know how to get refreshes. The last person that I VOD reviewed was Vico. This was actually my first time watching him. I've been told to watch him a lot because he's got crazy mechs. He was making some IQ plays with the chrome as well. The first play that I clipped was this far pre-edit play. So he had the pre-edit on, but he goes for the health advantage first because they both had SMGs and they just sprayed through, got him weak, and then he claimed the wall and cone from literally a box away. I don't know, I just thought that was crazy. Like he never actually tarped to the box or anything. I don't know if this is really something to learn from or what, like maybe it's just better to full tarp over, but I thought that was pretty cool. Now this is crazy. So when they're on height, they start throwing the chrome splash at their tarp in the sky to strengthen it. That's one thing with the chrome splash that I never thought to do, but it is so smart. Now in this next clip, he's just throwing the chrome splash down at enemies below him, and this got me thinking. Hear me out. By throwing the chrome splash at the team beneath you, they won't be able to edit up and shoot you on high ground anymore. It'll make it so that they can't edit up and grief your height. On top of that, they can't sprint anymore because they're going to be chromed out. They're going to only be chrome balling. So if they were planning to do a sprint height retake and like get up on your face really quick, they can't anymore. So throwing chrome splash from high ground is definitely effective to save your height and like make it so that teams beneath you don't grief you. I feel like it doesn't grief them that much, but it makes it so they can't grief you as much. And then the last thing that I noticed, this is a reminder for me as a fragger because I just started fragging. The only time Vico really splits from his IGL for the most part is when he's getting loot from a down body. But for the most part, he stays within 3 boxes of his IGL and frags like nearby his IGL. In my last tourney as fragger, like I was trying to go for more frags, but a lot of times I would get split and like be way too far away from Ken. But this is a good reminder, try to frag around my IGL instead of getting super split. But yeah, guys, I hope you learned as much as I did from this VOD review. Lots of tourneys coming up, so good luck to all of you that are playing. And if you want to watch us play, it'll be live on my stream, link down below. Catch you in the next one. Peace.